Well, welcome everybody. Thanks for being here. Welcome to the Q&A, special Q&A, an evening with Felissa Rose. Let's hear it for her.
Is it? Hello, hello. Hello, hello, hello. Hi. I appreciate each and every one of you for being here. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Wonderful. All right, so essentially I'm going to ask a couple questions, but we're going to kick it over to you guys. I'm sure you have much better questions than I have, so and this really is for you. So thank you, Felissa, for being here. We really appreciate it.
Thank you.
So let's start, obviously, with Sleepaway Camp, your first role.
I'm sorry, what movie?
Yeah, I don't know. Did I get that wrong? So this is your first, that was your first role, right?
Yeah.
So talk about, how you got into acting and how you got that role, was, what the audition process was.
Yeah. Oh, wow. So I was 12 years old, and I was in a little dancing school in New York, and a manager came in and said, okay, we could cast some of these kids in some movies and commercials. And I was like, okay, I would like to. That sounds fun. And they said, all right, kid, we got a horror movie you're going to audition for. And I said, oh, all right, that sounds, I make myself sound great. The manager's like, crazy person. And then I read the script. I met with Robert Hiltzik, the director, and I read the script. And I said, wow, this is fun. I was the only person in the cast who had the entire script. Has anyone not seen Sleepaway Camp? Oh,
Good,
wow.
nice. Good.
Wait, everyone has seen it? Oh, okay, because I didn't want to be a dick and ruin it. So when I read it, I said, this is fun, this looks great, and I went and filmed in, I think it was Glens Falls, New York. It was so picturesque and beautiful, and I just had the time of my life. And truly, like, Sleepaway Camp has been the greatest joy of my life. To have made that film and had such a great experience, and then I keep saying I watched it grow up, and to be here and meet each and every one of you and connect, and I'm such a huge horror fan, to be part of this community has been just such a wonderful adventure. So I thank all of you, because I'm here because of you, and I'm just very, very grateful. Thank you so much for just watching this film and giving it some time. Thank you.
Right. And I think we can all agree it's one of the greatest slasher movies of all time. It absolutely is.
Wow.
So I guess being 12 years old, were you a fan of horror already? Or
No.
did this movie make you one?
I hadn't really seen much horror at that time. I was just like into comedy, and I wasn't exposed to it. So when I filmed the movie, I loved the effects. To me, the effects were everything. Like sitting and watching them create the burns for the cook, Artie. Ed French, who was the effects artist, was so brilliant, and he really took me in and showed me how he created each and every one of those kill scenes was just marvelous. And then I was so turned on to horror, and I started just watching everything I could, And Texas Chainsaw Massacre is my favorite movie.
It's going to be my next question. So, so in that movie, Sleepaway Camp really still resonates today. That's the great thing about it. Actually, watching it in the lens of 2025, there's a lot of barriers in that movie that you don't really catch in '83 that now are pretty relevant in 2025. So, besides that, what else do you think really makes this such a cult classic for horror fans?
That's such a great question. Sleepaway Camp is it's literally a funny movie. So it has the camp, it's very campy, very campy. It's like Meatballs with some kill scenes. And I just think it's also very 80s. So we love watching that crazy wardrobe with the short shorts and the half tops. And then you get the New York accents. We're all like talking like this. And then on top of that, we're really legitimately between the ages of 13 and 17. So we were real kids. We weren't like Friday the 13th from California. and we're 28 years old playing 11. You know, we were like, hey, we're making a movie here. This is great. Oh my God. So it's like you have all these kids, and then you actually, underneath the film, have this very poignant message that's, you know, talking about bullying. We're all anti-bullying. And then you have gender identification and sexual orientation. And it's like, what is the true message here? The message is be authentically you, and be kind, and be honest, and be real. And I think when you watch Sleepaway Camp, on some odd subconscious level, you really kind of grasp that. And you realize, wow, like not only are they crazy and campy and, you know, talking with those accents, but there's something genuine happening underneath all of it. And I think that's what really resonates with audiences.
Absolutely. Hey, I agree. So, like I said, we were going to kick it over to you guys. I guess I was hoping we had someone in the crowd there with a mic. Apparently, it's not going to happen. So, if anyone has questions, just raise your hand.
We can be loud.
Yeah, we'll improvise here.
Especially in the back.
Way
I love
in the
you. My favorite scene in Sleepaway Camp was in the rec hall when the guys come over to me and they want the girls to go skinny dipping, and they're like, let's ask Angela. Yo, Angela. Hey. I could not stop laughing. I was like, is this serious? What is happening right now? Because you're crazy. And I loved both those actors, John Dunn and Tom Vandell, who played Kenny and Mike. And we just laughed the entire night. It was so fun and so ridiculous that I'd have to say that was really my favorite scene, just because we laughed the entire time. I could not keep a straight face. Robert, the director, kept saying, please don't laugh. I'm like, okay, I'm trying not to. Between them and the chef, when the chef was in my face, I could not stop laughing. So when you watch the film the next time, you can see when Artie's right in my face, I'm like this. All I want to do is laugh. The whole movie was fun. Thank you.
And I know he wasn't in that scene, but the Situation's brother is in the movie, right?
So Max, so we have a lot of people in the movie that are siblings to like these famous people. We had the person who played Little Peter is Maximo Sorrentino, and he's the brother of the Situation from Jersey Shore. And then we have Robert Earl Jones, who's James Earl Jones' dad, Darth Vader. So that's cool. You know, we had all these great kind of siblings. It was cool, and family members.
Nice. Go ahead, Neil.
Right. POV. Yes. When I read about my penis in the script, I'm sorry. I can honestly tell you that when I read the script, I brought my cousin with me, who's my best friend, and she and I were both 12. Who sends two 12-year-olds? We were in like this New York City agent's office, and we read it together, and we looked at each other and went, wow, that's really fun. It's pretty cool. Like, we'll go, you know, kayaking, and we didn't even address the end. I think it didn't really hit me or make a kind of impression where I thought, oh, wow, that's going to be, you know, whew, something, a little bit of something special. Very little. No, I wasn't quite sure, but when I saw it, it was when I saw it at the premiere. I went, wow, we did that? That's when I saw at the end, and my cousin was sitting with me, and we both went, oh, that's what we did? You know? It was very interesting, yeah.
I think we can agree you didn't have to be 12 years old to be shocked by that ending. It's absolutely one of the greatest endings in horror history.
You could be like 72, and you're like, holy shit.
Yes.
I mean, the curling iron. The curling iron is everything, and it's only because Judy deserved it. Clap. Yes, Judy. Judy deserves it, that slut. Did I say that out loud? We have children here. Yeah, that Judy. Whew. She was something. She was the best. She's the OG mean girl to me. Like, I think Karen Fields created such a marvelous character, and she's nothing like that. She's the kindest, sweetest, little delicate, quiet, lovely person, and then she plays this crazy bitch, and we're like, what? You know? But she deserved the curling iron.
Yes.
I know. You're amazing. Wow. I loved when you told me that. So he felt, and it's so funny because we barely give any attention to Paul being decapitated because we're seeing my full naked body. So we forget that I actually cut off the head of my boyfriend, and it rolls, and it's gross and creepy. And thank you for that question. I think for me, nothing really creeped me out making the movie, because when you're making a horror movie, it's all fun on set. You know, there's nothing really happening that is grotesque or scary. You're just doing a couple of lines and having fun and interacting with the other actors. But my scary moment on the set was I dated Ricky, Jonathan Tiersten, for about 24 hours, and he broke my little heart. So that was the hardest part for me on the set. And they shut down production for a full day and took us bowling so we could make up. That's my little scary sleepaway camp story.
Right there. Yes.
I love the bow and arrow. I thought, especially for 82, I kept saying, how are you doing that? How are you really doing it? Is he dead? Is he? Like, I couldn't believe that they could make something look so fantastic. And Mike Hellen, being the wonderful actor that he is, playing Mel, gave it such a good performance. But yeah, that was wonderful. I loved the Meg knife down the back. I was like, oh, yeah, more. That's when I knew I loved horror movies. I was like, oh, this is great. Crazy. I was just telling someone, like, I love being covered in blood. Like, I feel more comfortable being covered in prosthetics or blood or anything that's not me in any film. Like, it's the best. It's the greatest. And even tonight for my photo op, like, I can't wait to put blood all over me. I'm like, yes, and I'll wear it all night long. Like, I won't wash. People are like, you need to take a shower. I'm like, no, I don't. I'm wearing my blood. I feel good. So, something wrong. Thank you.
Yes.
Parts 2 and 3. Why didn't you come back? Do you have any regrets about not coming back? And what is your...
I love 2 and 3. I love 2 and 3. I love Pamela Springsteen. I wrote her fan mail in the hopes that she would write me back and we could be best buddies and sing songs and take photos together, but she didn't write me back. So it's okay. I mean, she's Bruce Springsteen's sister. I don't think she saw it. I went back to 8th grade after I filmed the first one, and I wasn't really quite sure I wanted to be an actor. Like, to me, it was really fun making the movie, but I really loved school, and I had just gotten into college early admission when they were auditioning for Sleepaway Camp 2. So I went and I met with the director, Michael Simpson, and when he shared the script with me, all of a sudden Angela was hilarious. And I was like, I don't know who this Angela is. Like, my Angela is quiet and introverted and complex and just a different person. So when I read the lines, I sucked. I was like, and then blah, 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 blah. And he was like, whoa, and I was like, whoa. And so it didn't seem like a fit. And I actually called them and said, I think I'm going to go to college and, see you around. And then later on, I studied acting, and I got cast in Return to Sleepaway Camp and reprised my role. And that's when I felt like it all made sense, because I went back with Robert Hiltzik and played a different character. I don't know if any of you have seen the craziness of Return to Sleepaway Camp, but it was really fun coming back in that way. Do I have regrets? Of course. I would love to have been Angela throughout the franchise, but I think it worked out perfectly. And like I said, I love them, and I love Pamela Springsteen. Thank you.
Nice. Yes, sure.
It's my friend. There have been talks about remaking Sleepaway Camp. Robert Hiltzik, the original writer-director who has the rights, owns it, and he's told me that he'd like to remake it the way he'd like to remake it. So I respect that, and hopefully he will soon. That's the hope. Very soon, or, But I would like to do a prequel myself called Aunt Martha, and it tells the story of Aunt Martha and what that lunatic was thinking. Aunt Martha. And she's here this weekend, and I always say it on my panels, I would love for Lauren Lavera to play Aunt Martha, and I would play Aunt Martha's mom. So I think that would make sense, because Aunt Martha's mom was the real insane person behind all of it. So we'll see one day.
But without Aunt Martha, we wouldn't have the brilliance of the film itself. So
Aunt Martha is the true villain. I think encapsulates the entire movie and sets the tone for the whole film, for sure. Yeah. Don't you think? Isn't Aunt Martha the real? She's on the screen for like 3 minutes, and she is so memorable. We're all like, holy shit, that woman's crazy. Richard, Angela. I've got a string around my finger. Hi, Paul. Thank you. I love the Boulet brothers. I've asked them if I could be one of the Boulet brothers. And my favorite part of making their Halfway to Halloween was they directed it. So having them direct was just incredible. And it was fun. It was a fun chance. If you get it, does anyone know Dragula? They are phenomenal on Shudder, the Boulet brothers. I think just doing some comedy. It was so tongue-in-cheek. They gave me such a great skit. I ate up every moment. I was like, oh, I love this. I loved what they wrote. I loved how they directed it. It was just fabulous, and I love them deeply. Yeah. Hopefully, we'll see. I'll just keep stalking them like I stalk everyone.
Anybody else? Yeah, sure. Go ahead.
I had to keep it to myself, and then when the movie came out, we really had to keep it under wraps. They wanted people to have, a sort of open mind when they saw the film until the end, and I think that's helpful. I often hear from people that when they watch Sleepaway Camp with a friend who hasn't seen it, it's more fun to watch the friend. And I'm like, yes, it's so much more fun. So that's that's exciting for me, and I love hearing all of the stories. I love just watching Sleepaway Camp take it's just taken on its own sort of little life, and it's like the little engine that could. I mean, it was not a big movie like Friday the 13th or Halloween or any of the films that we love. So I'm so incredibly grateful. I didn't think one person would see the film, so I'm really happy.
Yes.
How did my school react? I love you. And I know you're in what grade? 7th. So I went back to 8th grade, and the girls were not very kind to me. Sadly, they were, they gave me a hard time, but there were other girls who then saw that these girls were not nice. So the other girls started yelling at those girls, and I was just like, has anybody seen what I could do with a curling iron? But that's it. The truth is, like, no matter what, and you're so beautiful, and I loved meeting you. You're in 7th grade. Everything we do in life, all of the stuff we have to endure, all of the obstacles, it's okay. Like, I have 3 kids. I have 1 teenager and 2 teenagers, 16, 18, 20. And we go through a lot as people, right? As humans. So it only makes us greater, stronger, better. And then we find the horror community and we realize, this is where I belong. These are my people. So I thank each and every one of you, because when I found the horror community, I finally lowered my shoulders and my insecurities fell away, and I realized, wow, this is a group of people that I feel so happy with. So thank you, and let's all be kind to each other and take care of each other. Thank you.
Sure, go ahead, Neil.
Yeah. Go away. You want an aunt like me? The crazy drunk one? It was so fun playing her. I played this crazy woman, Mary. And Tom Matthews, he scared me. So does everyone know Tom Matthews from Return of the Living Dead? He plays my brother-in-law. And I come rolling in, and I'm just belligerent and crazy. And when he yells, he bangs the table and yells, "Stop!" to me. And I just went, and it was like one take. It was he's so wonderful to work with. And Tuesday night, and that whole cast, it's called Go Away. And it's I did a movie called Bloody Summer Camp, and it's the people who did Bloody Summer Camp. We just did Bloody Summer Camp 2 with Joe Bob Briggs and Diana and Nathan Basil, and great people. Yeah, thank you for watching that film. Thank you for giving indie horror movie a chance. Thank you. We so appreciate it. All of those movies are made with passion and love and heart and no money. And we just do it because we're having a good time together, and we love making films.
Sure, go ahead.
They watched it really young. So somebody just asked, I went to my daughter's sorority formal last week, and I brought all of my kids with me. And someone asked them, like, what do you think of what your mom does? What do you think of Sleepaway Camp? And they just all looked at each other and were like, she's crazy. We're still trying to figure out who she is and what she really does. She's away every weekend having a great time. No, they love it. They love horror movies. They love Sleepaway Camp. And I have 3 amazing kids. They are kind and loving and grateful and beautiful people. So I'm fortunate for that. Thank you. Thank you.
So I'll say, obviously we're focused on Sleepaway Camp, which rightfully so. It's a great movie. But you're also part of a more current horror franchise. I think Terrifier probably is a popular franchise, I would say. So talk about how that experience has been.
I stalked Damien. People are like, how are you in Hatchet 4? I'm like, I stalked Adam Green. And I'm like, and it sounds funny, but I met both of them. I went to conventions to meet both of them because they're two of my favorite horror directors. Eli Roth, I'm coming for you. I'm doing conventions with him, poor guy. I met Damien in I think 2018 at New Jersey HorrorCon, and I just said, I love Terrifier. Like, I love you. I met David. I said, I love you. And they were just kind, beautiful people. And I thought, wow, that's so nice to meet people who love what they do and they're passionate and they're great and cool. And then Damien said, well, if we make a sequel, and I was like, oh, okay. But, people say that and then you move on and years go on. And he called me and I thought, what an amazing human being. Like, you really legitimately called me and said, I have this part and I'll fly you out and we'll have fun on the set. And then when I got to set, I read my character and I was like, oh my gosh, Damien, she's like really cruel to these kids. And he's like, oh, I know. Have a good time. And I'm like, and then they're really young, like Sleepaway Camp, 14, 15-year-old young kids. And the first take, I was like, hey, guys, don't, and he's like, Felissa, get mean. And I'm like, hey, come on. He's like, louder. And I'm like, what's going on? Move it. And he's like, more. I'm like, move it. 35 times later, I'm like, Damien, do you think we got it? And he's like, oh, yeah, we got it, on the first take. I just wanted to watch on the monitor. And I was like, are you kidding me? He's like, no, seriously. So I love them. They are my family. I love Fuzz on the Lens. I love each and every one of the cast members. They're beautiful people. I'm sure you all know because you've met them. And they are just the most humble, loving group of people you could meet. And to me, that's the best.
Well said. Anyone have any other questions? Now's your chance. All right, so let's thank Felissa Rose.
Oh, my friend's over there.
Oh,
Hi.
sorry. I'm sorry. I totally missed you. Go
That's
ahead.
okay. Do I think I'll make an appearance in Terrifier 4? I'm going to call Damien. Bruh, I should. Should I call him right now?
Go for it.
I wonder where he is.
Put him on speaker.
We might as well. I'll leave him a message. Okay, hold on. Okay. Hold on. Okay, Damien. I love Damien so much. Okay, Damien. Okay. Okay, here we go. Is this hilarious? He's going to be like, are you at that con? No, I'm kidding. Wouldn't it be weird if he answered? I know he's busy. And what time is it?
4:30.
But I am going to leave a message. And we'll all say hi. Is that good? Let's all say hi. He knows I'm crazy, so it's good. It's all good.
Your call has been forwarded to voicemail. The person you're trying to reach is not available. At the tone, please record your message.
Okay, let's all
When
say
you have
hi,
finished recording, you
Damien,
may
after
hang
the
up.
beep. Hi, Damien! Hi, it's Felissa. And I'm on my panel, and I just wanted to say hi, and I love you, and everybody here loves you, right? Bye. I'll let you know what he says.
Wonderful. All right, let's hear it for Felissa
Thank
Rose.
you. I love you. Thank you. Thank you for being at this amazing show, CT HorrorFest. Incredible. I love you.